France are way ahead in terms of all this stuff.
Oh,
like
are they?
Their legislation's really strict.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
The market available there is, if we tap into it, is like in the billions. Like, it is a very big market to get into.
Okay.
It is something that Next is very good at as well, in terms of that they buy things knowing that they will sell. It's not like other, huge retailers that are just buying loads of bulk and then are left with it in their warehouse for a year at a time, and it all makes a big difference. So then we can continue to grow, but decrease our impact at the same time. I don't think it's necessarily, especially for like customers, I don't think it's a bad thing if we're the designated driver, because it just means we're trusted, isn't it? And I think that's where like it comes into the fact that people just look at us and think we'll be doing the right thing in terms of sustainability.
100%.
So then we don't really have to shout about it. But we've never been one of them companies that do shout about it, like some others that are, launching money into things and plastering it all over the news. But we just try and do what we can to make, even if it's a small bit of difference on the scale that we are, it makes quite a big difference.
Oh, 100%. I think that's it. Like you say, it's built into our ethos, and like that word culture of we just do the right thing and we just kind of get on with it. Like, I mean, sometimes it's probably to our own detriment that people don't know. But that's why we do certain things, but we don't highlight it, because we're like, well, yeah, that's what's expected. Like, of course we're going to do that. It's like, if you go into a meeting, one of my big things is like, just come 2 minutes early. Like, you came early today. I was like, yes, Alfie. Oh, well done. So, that probably should introduce you anyway. So welcome to Life and X podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, welcome to, you're very welcome, very welcome. So your name's Alfie, and you are a sustainability officer or assistant. Sorry, sustainability assistant. Yeah, that's right. And how'd you get into that then?
It's been a bit of a long road. So I actually started out doing audits. I was
for Next.
No, just as an accountant.
A finance accountant. Okay.
Straight from school. So I did that. Did not enjoy it at all, but I'd always had an interest in sustainability and like geography and all things like that. So when I was doing audits, where I was working, you could kind of say what audits you wanted to work on. So I would always say I wanted to work on like renewable energy company audits, just to try and get in there. Got to the end of my apprenticeship and, I just failed one of my exams. So I knew I was pretty much on the way out anyway, but I thought I'll just go back to uni and do something to try and get into sustainability. So I went back, did 3 years of geography there, and like tried to focus on sustainability and climate change and things like that. And then went to Dunelm after there to do sustainability verification. So I tried to like mix the audit background and sustainability as a bit of a stepping stone.
Okay.
And then, I was there for 6-7 months. It was quite quick there. And then came here.
Nice. What attracted you to come here then from there?
I think the scope of the role was a big part of it. Right. So obviously at Dunelm, it was a lot smaller, so it was quite like you could do things a bit quicker, which was quite nice. But coming to Next, if you did something good here, you're making a real impact. Real impact. Yeah. And then as well, just like the topics I could get involved in. So like when I came here, I ended up being the only assistant on the department for quite a while, so I just got involved in everyone's work. Whereas at Dunelm, I was very much just like spreadsheets verification, which is part of my job here.
But more of that audit background then.
Yeah. Whereas here it was fully kind of sustainability and what I wanted to get involved in, which then leads to what I'm doing now. So I now cover Textile Exchange, it's called, which is like a verification platform for recycled materials, organic materials, materials that meet animal welfare standards, so like wool, alpaca, stuff like that. So we look after that. We get audited on that every year, and we have to make sure we have all the certificates in place from our supply chain to verify that material is in the product. So then when we're calling that in our composition and stuff, it's all verified so that we can call it out in our year-end targets in the CR report.
So when you say we're getting audited on this stuff, sorry to interrupt, you kind of explain it. What do you mean by that? Is that just you're kind of categorizing and proving what we're doing as a brand with our products,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
is it everything?
So, no, so it's just for that part of the verification cycle. So it will come to next. We're the final buyers of the last product, and we just have to prove to our certification body that we are kind of managing it in the right way and making sure that we're chasing in these certificates to prove the material that we're saying is in the product is in there.
Right. So and they're looking right back to like the supplier and
Yeah,
all
so
the suppliers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. We're only required to get the last scope certificate, which is for, I'm saying this now like you know what it is.
No, I'm going to ask questions.
But essentially each factory, we have a scope certificate as well, but every person in the supply chain gets a scope certificate. So that's like a slip of paper to basically say, I am capable of providing recycled material.
Sounds like blockchain.
Yeah, it kind of is, yeah.
It sounds like blockchain, yeah.
So we only require the last scope certificate from the final factory that's making the product. And then transaction certificates is like the receipt for every step of the supply chain. So we only require the last transaction certificate because essentially we know that to make these certificates, the person before has had to have been certified.
Yeah.
So we don't have to check all the way back.
Because obviously, yeah, like that, if say there's 6 or 7 in the process, each time it's going to take longer and longer.
Yeah.
And yeah, you kind of got to rely on, okay, they're approved, great,
Yeah.
move on. Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah, then just every year for the audit, we have to prove that we're kind of managing that properly.
And is that quite a big thing to do? Because are you doing that material based, or are you doing it on product based, or how does it work?
So it's all product based. So it's based off contracts and item numbers.
Wow.
So we do it all through a Power BI report, which I was not part of setting up.
And Power BI is it's kind of it's data and
well, that side of things. So like the product operations team, but also it was the people who set it up in our team were Chloe and Lauren. They were the ones that kind of built up Textile Exchange.
Well done.
But yeah, they were like the whizzes behind it. And Chloe and her team, when we used to have a data team in sustainability, were in charge of setting it all up. And that's being handed over to Prod Ops really to kind of look after and keep it running. But yeah, that was how it was all set up. And I think we were one of the first brands to ever get Textile Exchange certified before I joined. So it was quite a significant thing when it first began, yeah.
So this team you're in then, actually, let's finish what we first started talking about. That's party role. Is that all of your role? Is there other elements?
No, so it's a big chunk of it because it's kind of always ongoing, and there's a big push at the minute because we have to verify everything, and we've got our 2025 targets coming up, which is like our first big landmark.
Which we've had in play for a while, right?
Yeah, I think 2018 we set up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long time coming, but this year I think it's cotton, leather, and feathers that are all up to be 100% responsibly sourced. And then some of the others have been pushed back to like 2028, 2030, because we were a bit further off from them. But everything has to be certified and verified to make sure that we can call it out in the report. So it's a big chunk of my job, and like there's always kind of admin sides to it that I do most days.
And the report isn't just this like little report that you send to. This is our main corporate social responsibility report, right? Yeah. That's the report.
It's a big.
So it's going out in the world, basically being attached to the business.
Yeah, for all the shareholders and customers, everyone can see it. Yeah, so it's a big piece of work that we start working on the next year's after the last year's kind of has been published. So it's just constantly going on. So that's Textile Exchange, and then I also work on circularity, which is a bit of a buzzword.
A lot of industries will have this where they just make stuff, goes to consumer or waste, and then that's it, end of life. For that product.
I guess it becomes a bit of a bigger issue for textiles because it's very hard to recycle clothes if they're not like 100% of the same material. So that kind of comes into it, but then also just how quick people because it's such a trend industry, people just get rid of buy so much and then get rid of them. Whereas like cars, for example, you could say that's a linear model because we buy it, use it, and then it's kind of crushed and destroyed. But obviously you can recycle that a bit easier, but also they're lasting for 20, 30, 40 years, whereas a t-shirt very rarely will. So that's where it becomes a bit of an issue. Or it could, but we just throw it away because people don't know what to do with it.
Just like the consumerism and the nature
Yeah,
of
exactly.
I think that's shifted though over time, hasn't it, as well? And
yeah.
I know Next we've always been more on less the fast fashion kind of throwaway and more on like buying that quality piece of furniture or clothing that's going to last you a bit longer as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is something that Next is very good at as well in terms of that they buy things knowing that they will sell. It's not like other, huge retailers that are just buying loads of bulk and then are left with it in their warehouse for a year at a time and could have nothing to do with it.
Right.
But yeah, for circularity, essentially, it's making that linear model into a circular model. So it'll go from we're making it, and there's a lot to consider in the design phase of something. So that will be where we only use one type of material. So say 100% cotton, because we can grind that down and make it back into another fibre easily at the end of its life. Or polyester is really easy because you can just melt that down and extrude it back as new polyester. Whereas we, again, just as a general industry, we'll have a lot of blends in products just because it's cheaper maybe to make it 50% polyester, 50% cotton, or there can be 5% elastane in something to make it slightly more stretchy. And they're all blockers to it, to making it recyclable.
Got you.
So that's one part of it, is like the product design. Then there's obviously the use of it. So we want to make sure that it's durable, it's built properly, and can be, it lasts as long as it can in its cycle, whether that being resold as well. So resale is a big part of circularity, where instead of us throwing it away, it goes to the next person and the next person.
Which is, I feel like over the last, probably say 10, 20 years, has had a big boom with like your vintage. And obviously
definitely.
eBay's always done that and stuff as well. But yeah, that's it. Like, that seems to have kind of boomed a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think in France now, Vinted is the biggest shop retailer. Yeah,
is it?
Because in France are way ahead in terms of all this stuff.
Oh, are they?
Their legislation's really strict.
Oh, really?
And I think their consumers are just on the journey of it. Yeah, so that's what
they're
they want to go
really
for.
bought into it.
Yeah. So resale is a massive thing, and I think it's like the market available there is, if we tap into it, is like in the billions. Like, it is a very big market to get into. Okay. But obviously it's difficult to get into when you're also just selling new clothes, because it's like, how do you balance it properly without taking away from one? And so it's a big balancing act. But that's in the resale. Then repairs in there. So if we started to offer repair services and things like that to make items last longer, if it's just a hole in the top, but you want to keep the top rather than buying a new one, just get the hole repaired. And then the last bit is kind of waste. So they're the three areas that we've split it out to, is product design and development, circular business models it's called. So that's your kind of take back schemes, resale, things like that. And then waste at the end. So anything that is true waste that we can't do anything with, kind of what routes do we have available there for either recycling, or if it has to be landfill and incineration, we're not naive to the fact that sometimes that's the only option for certain products. But making sure that we have them waste streams mapped out, so that, because we're such a big business, everyone, it's quite easy for people to just find a route and go for it without knowing exactly what's going to be done there. So that's what we're working on at the minute. It's quite a big waste stream piece of work. So we're making a working group across the business with all the people that are involved, usually in ways to try and figure out what policies we can put in place to make sure people, get it right and know easily where to send things when we have no other route for them.
That's so interesting. Because it's not just we're doing it. It's like we're doing it because it's the right thing, but we're also doing it to, kind of keep the products and also give more value to the customers. But then also there's also that business opportunity there as well.
Exactly.
So it kind of everyone's kind of winning with this.
Which is
a no-brainer. Yeah.
Which I would say is rare in sustainability, because usually we are, the ones that are coming to you saying, "Oh, you're not doing this right. And you need to make a change here." So we're the annoying ones. But this is it's quite a nice area to work on, because it's one of them where there is actually opportunity there to, it won't be loads of money. It's not going to be as much as if we sell a million products, but we're not fully just reducing it and taking it away. There is opportunity there to make some money, to increase customer loyalty. So yeah, there's a lot going on in circularity, but we're trying to break it down a bit more into just them 3 pillars, because we know that circularity can be such
massive.
yeah, exactly.
And make it easier for people to digest as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not going to
yeah.
walk into a room of directors saying, "Oh, we want a big budget for circularity," and they're not going to be like, "What are you on about?"
Whereas if you're talking about, right,
yeah, like
we're going to spend this much on repairs and this much on this, and
yeah, I mean, we're saving resources. We're not having to buy as much because we're using everything we've already got. Like, it's all about efficiency, really. So it makes a lot more sense, and people can digest it a lot easier.
Nice. So with all this going on, what team do you sit in then? Like,
so across our team, we've got packaging. That's Josh over there. He is by himself at the minute, bless him, but he's there. So we've got Josh in packaging. Then you have Chloe, who is now carbon, and then you've got Hannah and Anna under her. So they are like the carbon reporting section for the group. They are, so they'll do it for Jules and everyone. Bless you.
Thank you.
So they'll do it for the group. And then you've got supply chain, which is Philippa, Lauren and Maria. And then someone else I think we're just hiring at the moment. So they look after kind of water usage in the supply chain, like the very much bigger picture things of like how can we reduce the impact of our entire supply chain, not just Next itself.
Wow.
So that'd be like biodiversity, making sure when we're growing cotton, like we keep the farms in good condition, the soil's really healthy so it can absorb carbon, all them things. So they're doing big projects there. And then they also look after like the chemical side of things. So with ZDHC, getting the zero discharge, that is, so like making sure wastewater and things is clean, everything like that. And then my side is the raw material side. So that's all the kind of responsible sourcing in terms of materials. So our 6 target materials, which is cotton, polyester, MMCFs, wool, leather and feathers.
Well done for remembering.
And timber.
Yes.
Is that 7? Can't remember now.
That's 7, yeah, that's 7, yeah.
That was only 6. So we look after that side. And then in terms of my materials that I look after as well, so that's like the third part of my job is wool and synthetics at the minute. So your polyesters, nylons, things like that.
And when you say look after, what's that
So
entail?
kind of just if people have queries about like what changes they can make. So say you've got a 100% wool jumper, like how can I make sure that goes towards our wool target to get it responsibly sourced? So that can be through Textile Exchange. Again, we've got like the responsible wool standard, which they can use for wool, and that will then count towards our targets. So yeah, there's things like that, and it's kind of finding new supply routes as well for new recycled options and things like that, where we then get it all approved by our team, added to the manual. Then the teams can just use the manual to know what to source next if they're making a new product.
So you must work a lot then with the product teams, right, all the time, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I guess you've got to, there's that element of kind of finding out what they're doing and then a bit of education as well, or
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of like training involved and manual making and keeping it updated and stuff, because obviously we're such a big business, you can't be doing in-person trainings all the time. It's difficult, but it's constant kind of product team queries, especially technologists. So a lot of our work kind of falls to them because it's after it's being made, getting all the verification and things like that. So we work a lot with them especially.
Cool. Are you glad you made the switch from auditing then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously there's like stresses to the job and like a lot of work to do sometimes, which is the same with any job, but it's nice to do a job that you actually feel you're making a bit of a difference. And it's always like people, it's like friends and stuff, when I say like, I work in sustainability at Next, they're like, oh, you mean the huge business that just sells loads of clothes? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, how does that work? But I think it's like, it's important to realise that, we need businesses to keep running. We need money, we all want jobs. But if we can try and just make the business run a little bit better in terms of what materials we use, how much we're making, how we're making it, it all makes a big difference. So then we can continue to grow, but with like decrease our impact at the same time.
Oh, 100%. Because it's all together. You're absolutely right there where you've said around like I think some people sometimes go to the like the easy like comment of, oh, we'll just stop doing it then, and it's like, well, there's 45,000+ people that are employed. Never mind the amount that it pumps back into the economy. So what you're saying is, let's just make that better and carry on, improving each day. Like we carry on improving our products, let's improve the way we source them as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because then, as you said, like, you've got all these people that work for Next that would be impacted, but also all the suppliers in other countries. Yeah. So then if they all just shut down, like Bangladesh, China, all of those, like a lot of them suppliers rely on us because we're such big customers of theirs.
And such big orders,
So, and as well, like our kind of work there can give them the investment they need to then make better sustainability choices. Yes. So it all kind of adds up, and one thing leads to the other. But definitely happy that I left the world of accounting to do sustainability.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, thanks for coming on and explaining that. I mean, I love learning about new things. I think this is one of those areas, like you've said, that people have got certain assumptions with. So I really appreciate you just taking the time and sharing that. So thanks a lot, Alfie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.